Chapter 18: The Road, the Ice, and the Weight of It All. Doug gritted his teeth as the salt truck lurched forward, the heavy spreader grinding out a steady choo-chunk rhythm behind him. Outside, the late March morning was a vicious liar. The sky was a clear, bright blue, the kind that promised spring, but the pavement told a different story. The temperature had dipped just enough overnight to turn the thaw into a treacherous sheet of black ice. He'd already passed one wreck on the way in. Some poor bastard in a sedan spun out on the shoulder, waiting for a tow. Too early in the season for people to remember how to drive. He cranked the heat in the cab, took a long sip from his travel mug, and tried to distract himself. "The first wave will be over in minutes," Carl's voice drawled through his truck's Bluetooth. 90% of the population. Gone. Doug smirked despite himself. Doomsday fiction. If nothing else, it made his current existential crisis seem less pressing. The truck rumbled down the arterial road, salt spraying behind him, leaving a streak of safety for the half-asleep commuters who would never think to be grateful. And yet, even with the story playing in his ears, his thoughts kept clawing their way back. The Temple of the Dwelling Gods. He had heard that name before. Somewhere. Where? Some late-night forum dive? A YouTube conspiracy hole? Maybe in the deep recesses of his own research over the years? A shiver ran down his spine, not from the cold, but from the nagging feeling that he was standing too close to something dangerous. Maybe he should just let it go. Miranda could handle it. She had her books, her contacts, her own life. Him? He had a job, a normal blue-collar life. He worked, he gamed, he drank beers with Gordy, Mark, and Terry on the weekends. That was enough, wasn't it? Doug exhaled sharply, gripping the wheel tighter. Maybe he should just cancel Friday. Call Miranda, tell her something came up. Hang with the boys instead, run a few rounds of Valorant. Forget all this ancient nonsense before it dragged him in too deep. This wasn't his world. He was just a municipal worker keeping the roads safe, right? Doug reached for the dash controls, letting out a frustrated sigh as he paused the audiobook. As much as he liked Carl's doomsday ramblings, they weren't helping. He needed something real, something grounded, so he flipped over to the AM radio instead, catching the tail end of the weather report. Expect conditions to improve by mid-afternoon, but watch for ice patches in shaded areas, now in national news. The radio crackled slightly as the announcer's voice shifted to something more somber. New findings from the NOAA suggest that the so-called Bahama anomaly is, in fact, nothing more than a natural formation, likely the result of long-term underwater erosion and tectonic shifts. Doug's hands tightened on the wheel. Despite speculation about the site's significance, Dr. Charles Leland, a senior geologist with the NOAA, emphasized that the formations show no evidence of human intervention. What we're looking at here is an entirely natural phenomenon. The symmetry is intriguing, but ultimately explainable. There's no lost city, no ancient ruins, just the ocean doing what it does best, shaping rock over millennia. Doug exhaled sharply through his nose. Of course, he'd seen this play out before. First, the discovery, wild headlines, breathless speculation. Then, within days, the debunking. A neat, clean, science-approved dismissal. He knew how this game worked. And yet, as much as he wanted to shut it all out, something in him rebelled against it. The easy answers. The way these things were always wrapped up too fast. He thought about the book he'd handed Miranda. The pages filled with strange, esoteric knowledge, the symbols that felt too deliberate to be random. He thought about the Temple of the Dwelling Gods and the sense of wrongness he got just thinking about it. And he thought about Miranda, her eyes lighting up when they spoke, the way she leaned in when she got excited, like she could physically pull knowledge from the air. Doug shook his head, adjusting his grip on the wheel as he turned down a side street. Screw it. He wasn't backing out. Friday was on.